Welcome into the Casual Gaming Conversation. I'm Connor. That's Nick. This is your weekly gaming podcast from Co-op64. Today, we're doing a What We've Been Playing. But before we get into that, Nick, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling good, buddy. We were just talking off camera a little bit before this that it's nice to relax a little bit after just weekend after weekend after weekend after weekend, just going. And you're still in it. You're still going.
I wonder what that feels like.
Yeah, right. But yeah, for those who don't know, Extra Life was last weekend. Thank you so much for your support over there. It really does mean the world to us. Like, that is such a humbling and terrific moment. There's a bunch of bonus content that we'll do for this year and some of next year. We're very, very excited about all that. Part of my week this week was starting to schedule some of that stuff. So we're very, very thankful for all that. Be on the lookout in the Discord for what's happening there with that bonus content. But it's nice for me to like finally take a deep breath. Monday and Tuesday was a lot of just sleeping, recovering, staying up 24 hours. It's not fun. And I will say, I'm 24 right now. Every year it gets a little bit harder, like straight up, like, and it makes sense. Time beats everyone, you know. But like for me, this was one that afterwards I was like, oh damn, like this was tough. For those who don't know, you said it during the live stream, but it's also just a fun little story. It was like 5 a.m. and I texted the boys. I was like, I don't know if I can get through Mario Party. Like, this is a lot, but it's...
And you still won Mario Party.
Oh, I mean, best game on Co 64. But yeah, like, it's such a fun experience. We love doing these 24-hour streams. And we got a lot of fun stuff happening. Connor's going to hop into housekeeping about, like, what we're doing over on Twitch right now. It's been, like, so much fun. But yeah, I'm doing well. It's been a chill weekend. College football's back. I'm going to enjoy watching the OSU game, the second half of that later this afternoon, and then I'm going to enjoy playing some volleyball later tonight. So I'm excited, getting active. Even but this is a chill active compared to like the last couple weeks, which have been go. So Mr. Go, how are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Like it's fun to hop on the mic, taking a pit stop for just a moment during this crazy weekend that you're having. How's that going?
A busy few days with more to come. Saw Oasis Thursday night, drove to Chicago for that, drove back yesterday. And I'm seeing Nine Inch Nails tomorrow night, driving to Cleveland for that. Recording some podcasts in between those two, hanging out with Laura, hopefully getting some Metal Gear Solid Delta in today.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, a lot going on. Stream on Monday still. So it's all exciting. A lot of fun stuff. But it's pretty tiring. It's a lot. But I'm very excited to see Nine Inch Nails tomorrow.
Dude, you talked about Oasis like you were on the backside of the bell curve, where you like already peaked already, and now you're on this like falling action. For Nine Inch Nails, you're peaking, dude.
Yeah.
You're getting excited for this show. I'm jealous to some level because, like, I've been in the car with you recently, whether it was driving up for LCD or just driving around town and listening to Nine Inch Nails again in a more, like, consistent way. Dude, they're so good. Like,
yeah, I think I'm more into them now than I've ever been.
That's so sick.
Like, I've been getting into some records that I didn't love the first few times, and kind of I listened to them a couple times, then kind of just went back to the ones that I really love, like The Fragile and The Downward Spiral, and just was like kind of really consistently listening to those and not going back to these lesser, in quotes, albums. But now that I've gone back to them, I'm like, oh, these might be better than I thought. Like, some people really love With Teeth. And I didn't love that record the first few times I listened to it, and now I'm like, this is actually pretty fucking good. Like, this is great. So I'm excited to see some of those tracks. I'm excited to see anything with Nine Inch Nails. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Real quick, before we get into housekeeping, I just want to remind you personally, that a Naughty Dog game is going to come out with Trent Reznor on the track.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm a lucky guy.
Hop into housekeeping, Connor.
This show is made possible by all our lovely supporters over on Patreon. You can get this show 3 days early. You can get the Casual Gaming News Conversation 3 days early, and you get a bonus episode of the podcast every single week. Brady and Nick just broke down their top 5 games that they've streamed. We have spoiler casts for Donkey Kong Bonanza, older ones for Split Fiction and South of Midnight, and a whole suite of topics over on the bonus podcast for you to enjoy in that backlog. And then at the tier above that, at the $10 tier, you get Recollecting Retro, which we just posted one of those. You get the Call of 64 podcast, and you get 2 bonus TikToks every other week. We also do random fun videos, like we did the SGF vlog. We just posted a vlog at Super Nintendo World that Nick and I did. We're in LA, so you can go enjoy that at the $10 tier. At the highest tier, you get your name right at the end of each and every podcast, and you get the opportunity to write in for the Call of 64 podcast as that 4th topic. Over on the Twitch side of things, Nick is playing the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Little game. It's a small game. Never heard of it before.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, I am playing Silent Hill on Wednesdays. We're going to be talking about both of those games today. Brady's playing Lies of P on Mondays with Nick and I co-piloting. So a lot of great games going over on Twitch.
Help Brady out with Lies of P. Like, I said this on CGNC. I know that some people only listen to this show. We need your help. If you are good at Lies of P, we need someone to help explain how to play this video game to
He
Brady.
just needs to lock in on the parry. It's not that I think once he gets that to click, he's going to be totally fine.
We also need to help him, because we're out here distracted.
I'm trying.
We're talking about Taco Bell and everything, and he's trying to focus in, dial in. But I think that here's the right move. Here's the right move. Eventually, after I get through 74 games that I need to play in September, apparently, I think I'm going to sit down and try to catch up and surpass him and be able to sit on the couch with him and really help.
There's so much to play. Like in what is constantly happening to me is like a game will just get mentioned offhandedly, and I'm like, now I want to play that. Like we were talking about Mario Galaxy on the podcast for CGNC, and I was like, I kind of want to go home and just boot up Mario Galaxy on the Wii.
Real quick. Mario Galaxy on the Wii, I feel like I have it as an underrated sort of game because I talk about 64 so highly. I talk about Odyssey above it too. Like I love Odyssey so much.
It's underrated for you. It's not underrated for me.
Oh yeah,
else.
totally. And here's the thing though, that game's so good. Like I wanted to play that game so badly. I didn't play
I played
Galaxy
quite
2.
a bit of it, and I really do think that I played probably 75% of that game when I played it initially on the Wii, borrowing it from our neighbor Alex. He lent it to me, and then I had to give it back after a week or so. And I never got around to finishing it. But
I need you to finish it because I think that would be a good one to have on what we've been playing. It's been on what we've been playing for me. I love these podcasts. These podcasts are so much fun. But yeah, getting back to it though, Liza P, go and help us out. We need some help.
Discord, we have a community of 2,700 community members, ever growing, where you can come chat, hang out with us, hang out with other community members, make friends, talk about games, movies, music, sports. We have the football season coming up. We have a fantasy league that is run through the Discord. That's already kind of signups are already done for that. But in future years, you can get the opportunity to get in on those. We also have community nights coming up this weekend. If you're listening to this on Patreon, you'll be able to utilize this to get in and know that we're playing Fall Guys tonight. If you're watching this after the fact, get excited for the next one, which is
I'm pulling it up right now. The next game is hosted by you and Brady. It's a weekend that I am away. Where is it? It's Among Us. It's Among Us with Connor and Brady on September 21st.
Yeah, so it'll just be a good way to interact with us and hang out and play some games, but also make friends with other community members. So you can do that in the Discord. Over on the merch side of things, we have t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, co-op64store.com if you want to support the channel that way, and leave us nice reviews over on Apple Podcast Services. It gets the show out to more people, and we would really appreciate that. Alrighty, no hot takes this week because we have a whole lot of games to get to here. We're doing what we've been playing. We're just going to go game by game, back and forth, kind of give you a little overview of how we're feeling about them. We've beaten some of these games. Some of them we're just dabbling in so far, but we're gonna go over where we're at with them at this moment. I'm gonna kick this one off here. Do you have something you want to say? Oh
yeah, I did have something I want to say. When it comes to what we've been playing episodes, this is arguably my favorite type of episode that we get to do. It's just the boys shooting the breeze about video games. And if you're wondering like where we are at with some of these games, we're going to probably give like our updates, especially on some of the more prevalent titles, especially things like Metal Gear for me and even Hollow Knight for me. Just a heads up, this is such a fun podcast for me because I think that this is the first podcast that I'm going to be like, I'm 100% putting a game down when it comes to reviewing. And I think that it might be even in the thumbnail or something. We'll get there when we get there. But the thing that I want to mention is time codes. I will time code all these games. So if there's a game that you're looking for that's in the thumbnail, you can find them down below. Just a heads up. I want to toss that one out there. Normally we don't do that. For this one and going forward for what we've been playing, I think that having just the game list is important in there. So I just want to shout that out as a little fun thing. We're trying to really get good with time codes and stuff like that and make sure that you guys are getting the conversation however which way you want it for when we were discussing those games. So Connor, do you want to hop in with your first game?
Yeah, we're going to start with Yakuza 0 here. If you've been following the channel for a while, I've been wanting to get into the Yakuza franchise for a very long time. And even before this channel started, I was talking about wanting to get into Yakuza. I think I downloaded Yakuza 0 like 4 separate times on Game Pass. I think that I got it on PlayStation Plus at some point. I think it's in my digital library somewhere. I think I've scrolled past it. And it's good to finally get in on it. I'm playing it on Switch 2, the definitive edition, which I know there's some controversy around this version of the game because it retcons something, but I don't know anything about the original version. So whatever this game is what the game is now, in my opinion. So I am through 2 chapters. So I'm just starting chapter 3. It saves in between chapters. It's like, you want to save now, and I'm literally at that save point.
Is this a Uncharted deal where there's 26 chapters, or is this a like more Act 1, Act 2, Act 3?
No idea. I am 5 hours in.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I would say that I like this game so far, but I'm not in love with it. I think from a story perspective, what they're setting up here is relatively interesting. It's all about real estate, baby. There's an empty lot, and people want it. And
we're going big.
we're fighting over this lot, and there's like a framed murder type situation that's intriguing, and you got to clear your name. And I'm intrigued to see where the story goes with the setup, but I'm not like immediately dragged in and being like, I need to know what the fuck is happening here. But I would say that I'm in at this point, but not like in love with where the direction the story is going.
Is this one that you see yourself finishing out for sure, or is this a we got a lot of games coming?
I'm in a weird spot with it right now where I'm 5 hours in. And I don't have a ton of momentum. I know that I need to get to a point where I'm hooked to know that I'm going to finish it, where I could like potentially drop off and then come back to it. If I dropped off right now, I don't think I would be itching to come back, but I need to continue getting that momentum and then maybe get to like a really exciting story moment and then be like, okay, I'm in, I need to see what happens next. I don't think I'm there with it. The other aspect of this game, the combat, when I asked our Discord, who a lot of people in our Discord really love the Yakuza franchise, and when we're talking about it, I was like, I feel like I never hear anybody talk about the combat in Yakuza. They talk about the story, they talk about the wacky mini games and stuff like that. But nobody ever talks about the combat. And they were like, it's good, it's fine. And you're doing quite a bit of punching in this game, and I would agree that like it's just serviceable. I don't think it's like, it's kind of mindless in my opinion. I'm just really button mashing the same like kind of combo, like the light attack and then finishing it off with the heavy attack. You have different like stances that change your moveset a little bit. One of them or 2 of them like allow you to like pick stuff up and like swing it or whatever. And like the other one is a lot like faster like movements. And like with a prioritization on like dodging, I just don't love the core combat. Every single time I'm in a combat scenario, I'm like, okay, like more of this. I'd rather be getting more story or going off and exploring the environment and doing some mini games or whatever. I've dabbled in the mini games. I do think they are a lot of fun. I've gone out dancing. That's a fun mini game. I did the batting cages. I'm sure there's a lot more to explore, but I think that the highlight of this game for me, at least so far, and it's something that I really appreciated with like something like Shenmue, is that like the sense of space, like being in this city, learning the ins and outs of the streets and like really learning this environment. I can see being like really fun to like be like this is a real, like really well realized environment, and it's an area that I want to explore and know what's around every single corner and know like, okay, that shop is there, this is where the batting cages are, this is where I think that there's like a casino, like I can go there or whatever, and like learning the ins and outs of this environment and feeling like I'm very in a real space, I think is a lot of fun. As I understand it, that's one of the core aspects that people really enjoy about Yakuza games. And very early on, I think I can see why people enjoy that. So I'm enjoying that aspect of it. So there's a lot of good here. I can see the seeds of stuff that are going to blossom, hopefully, into something that I love. But I wouldn't say I am in love with it at this point. Jury's still out on if I fall in love with it. I think that there's a potential chance that like I get to chapter 4 and I'm like, it's just not clicking with me. Like I just am not that into it. But people talk about the Yakuza 0 story as one of the best in the franchise, potentially the best. And where I'm at right now, I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Like, it's interesting, I guess, but I will trust the masses that this story does kind of lock in at some point and become really gripping. And I hope that it's not too much further in for it to get to that point for me to be like all in on Yakuza 0, because I really want to be into this franchise. And the other thing is that like I kind of, if I don't like the combat and am not in love with that aspect of it, like I could see myself really liking Like a Dragon, where they change the protagonist and it's kind of like a new starting point and it changes to turn-based. Like if these were turn-based battles and the turn-based system was competent, was good, I think I would like it a lot more.
Interesting. Just final thoughts though, like you think you're going to continue on with this. I really do think that it's necessary to mention, one, we're shooting this on August 30th. There's so many games coming out. Like we were just joking around about like September 4th is.
Not that much on Switch 2 though.
Exactly. So, but we're going to talk about Gold Abyss 2 later. Like, do you think that this is going to be your Switch 2 title, or Hollow Knight Silksong, where are you planning on getting that? Is that a Switch game for you?
Yes, it is.
And so that's where I'm like, I think that this could be not a game that you go and finish out, sadly, but I also think that it's important that you have a little bit of information on the series now, a little bit more than you ever have, because it is one of the most requested game series for us to try out and everything. And so I don't love that the story is not hidden for you, because I feel like that's what would get me in on a game franchise like this. I like mini games. Obviously, if you watch me stream Sploosh Kaboom for 4 hours and slide puzzles and all that good stuff, or darts in Persona 5, but like, I was really hoping, because once again, a lot of these games we haven't talked too much about. I was really hoping you'd come in and be like, Yakuza 0, dude. Like, come on. And it just doesn't seem like it's hitting that level for you.
I hope that it does. I think that it can still. I'm like I said, like I'm still relatively early on. Like I can see this very much becoming something that I fall in love with as I play more and more of it. So,
but but here's the thing: 5 days, Connor. The countdown's on. We are all on Silksong watch, and it is legitimately. And I get in the comments on this one. This is a fun little question. Is Silksong affecting your gaming calendar in any way? Is it changing your perspective on Borderlands 4, Hell's Us, stuff like that? Like, what has Silksong done for you? Because I feel like I bring it up now on every single podcast we've done in the past since that announcement. And it's a game changer for me. So yeah, I just get in the comments. I'm curious about that.
What do you got for your first game, Nick?
Mafia the Old Country. It kind of stinks that we're gonna start out this episode with 2 back-to-back swings and misses for like let's
calm down. Don't put that on
Connor
me.
Hates Yakuza.
No, I like this game. I'm just not in love with it yet.
Yes. I dislike what I've played of Mafia the Old Country. I put this one down about an hour and a half into it. And for a couple reasons. One, I picked up Hollow Knight, and we're gonna talk about that, and that's consumed about 10 hours of my week and everything. And there's other things that I'm playing, and there's streams and other things that need to happen for the channel. So, with that being said, I picked this up, and Brady and I talked about reviewing it, and like there's like. I am a huge believer in momentum. You know, like you talk about like you just need to find that flow state a little bit with Yakuza, and like if you had a little bit more time, and all of a sudden it like rockets off, it go, like that's great. My issue with Mafia the Old Country, an hour and a half in, is I want to start with I really do not think I'm going to pick this one back up this year. Which is a bummer, because I was really anticipating this one, and I would love to like. Maybe even like whisper sweet nothings into Brady's ear and be like, dude, Mafia's so good, man. You got to beat it. Just so I can have someone on the, like one of the three of us beat it. But like, I don't think it's going to be me. With the mindset of this game did nothing for me. I think the environment of being in Sicily, I believe, is like cool. But it's not gripping me, and I want to live in this world. I think that the way that the protagonist gets into the main situation that they're in is fine. but also isn't a good enough hook where I really want to figure out what's happening with the rest of their story. I think that there's some flash to this game. One of the more opening sequences, once you get like 30-ish minutes in, is like, oh, this is interesting, but it reminds me of like interesting in the PS3 era type interesting. It doesn't remind me of like, this is like a gripping opening in a modern video game that really is thrusting me into this story. I need to know what's next. I think that to be honest, this was a bad case of the like pick up the phones too, where you walk so much in this video game in the first hour and a half, where you're just walking and listening to someone talk and you're following someone, and I'm like, fuck, dude. I get to my point and I need to press square to pick something up, and I'm like, all right, finally someone's shutting up after talking to me while we've been walking for 10 minutes. Pick up my phone. Cool. What's happening in fantasy football? Okay, put it back down. Hopefully something interesting happens, and then nothing happens. It's more the same. There's like small notes that you can go and find throughout this game. I've read some of them. I'm not interested in what's happening in this world enough to care too much about these collectibles. So you have this overarching issue of narratively, I'm not being pulled in any main direction. The opening of this game, I think, is unbelievably boring. And then you finally get to what should be the exciting types of sequences that grab you in a game like this. We know that knife fighting is a large thing that they were promoting. Like that's a main way that you fight in this game compared to Mafias of old, by my understanding. This is my first Mafia experience, where it's more guns and stuff like that. No, you're knife. It's knife combat. The knife combat, pretty boring. Like I wasn't like this is. It feels like this is a boss fight moment, and I was unimpressed and unentertained. Like this feels like you're putting on your best foot forward, and it wasn't delivering. And then we get to a stealth sequence, and that sequence, I'm like, oh, like I love me some stealth games nowadays, like Last of Us 2, Metal Gear, whatever. Like there's certain things that I used to not love stealth, and when it's done really well, I do. It's not done well. To take someone down, you have to go and like press square, and then you have to like rapidly tap square to like take them down. You would think, oh, that's like a cool, interesting way to go and makes this more immersive and put a little bit more pressure on the player to actually do a stealth takedown. By the third person I was taking down, I was like, I don't like this. Like, I'm not having fun with this mechanic, and I now have to do this with a room of 6 more people, and so I'm getting bored and frustrated. And once again, I'm like, I feel like there's obviously there's things in trailers where you're driving cars and the horseback riding, and there's a bunch of other. But I'm like, what I expect this main game to be is stealth and knife fights. Like going into this game, that's what I was trying to be convinced on, and a story. So we get through these main sequences about an hour into the game, where you get to experience that stealth sequence, you get to experience a knife fight, and then it's title card. It's we're going. And it sets up the story in a way that I'm like, okay, there's something here, but it's not enough to want me to like really keep going. But I kept going. I was like, I want to give this game a fair shake before I put it down. I really want to try to enjoy this. I was looking forward to this game. Let's give this one a shot. I continue on past the title card, and it was more walking, listening, and shoveling crap. Literally, that's a thing that you have to do, where they go and you finish a walking and listening to someone, and you have to they're like do chores basically. And I was like, can we at least make shoveling crap like a fun mini game? Like can we do something there than just have it be like this quick animation that goes and starts out a cutscene where 2 characters get introduced? A lot of these characters are getting introduced, and you're starting to learn a little bit more about them. And you're like, this guy's like the brutish one. This one's the more like energetic one. You know, like the cast is starting to fill itself out, but like. The gameplay is so uninteresting that I don't have time to want to flesh out the cast, whether it's not this initial hook that's really grabbing me, you know? So just all in all, not for me. I know some people really like this game. I know some people don't really like this game. I'm on the side that doesn't like it. I would love for Brady to go and continue on with his playthrough and see where he's at with it when it's all said and done, because I think that also like, maybe I'm not giving this game the most time, but I'm giving it the most time that I'm willing to give it. And I think
how many hours?
Hour and a half ish. I assume like it's gonna rev up and there's gonna be another moment. But my big issue with it was what felt like these big moments in the game early on didn't grab me. And something that I immensely struggle with in this job, in what we do, is putting games down. I do. Like, I am such a, I need to complete it. I want, like, I've already put, it feels like sunken cost to me. And so something that I have brought up on streams and people have talked to me about, and they've been very clear on, is be okay with putting a game down. And I've looked myself in the mirror and I've talked to myself about this one, and I've talked to you about it, talked to Brave about it, being like, I got to be okay with putting a game down. And this is one of those where I got freaking Metal Gear Solid Delta on my PS5. I have a hard copy of Mafia, and I got Metal Gear right next to each other. It's like, do I want to play Mafia right now? Like, no.
There's too many games to play to be playing something that feels like a chore.
Yeah, and I like, we're gonna talk about some of these other titles that, like, I'm like all in on it and moving through, and I'm enjoying the hell out of. Like, dude, I can't convince myself that this is hidden when it's not, especially when I'm playing other things that are hidden. So, Mafia: Old Country, maybe you'll hear me talk about it a little bit more. If it gets nominated for Game of the Year, I will beat it. I don't think that will happen, though. I do want to say shout out to this team, though, for $50 title, understanding the scope of the story, understanding what is being offered here, not putting it up for that $70 price tag. I think that there's value to be said there, where, like, this game has hit for some people, and I think that most likely this is a situation where if you pick this one up, you're a big fan of the Mafia franchise, and you give it a fair shot, and you play the whole thing, and that's your game of the month of August, you might have a good time with it. Yeah. But for me, it's just not for me when there's a bunch of other things, backlog, and new stuff to play that I'm so excited about.
I heard that it gets better as it goes along, so I'm still somewhat intrigued in this, even after what you just said.
Yeah. But that's the other part where I just don't want to turn everyone away from this, because I know so many people have enjoyed this, but, like, I gotta be real with myself and right. Say that, like, this just is not really for me. Connor, where are you going next on this board? I feel like we're doing like a Connect 4 right now. We're putting the pieces in of what this podcast is going to be. Oh
shoot, I'm gonna go with Katamari Damacy. I talked about this on Recollecting Retro, so if you've already watched that, this is going to be a bit redundant, but I know obviously this is going up on free feed, so I'll give the take here. Finally got around to getting this game. It's surprisingly rare for a title that is only like $30. Like, it's just hard to find. I've never found it in a store before until we found it in the last Recollecting Retro. Picked it up immediately when I got home. Was like, finally, I can play this game. Threw it in the PS2, played it on the CRT, and very quickly fell in love with the charm of this game. I think it is one of the most charming, funniest games I've ever played. It's just hilarious and constantly making me laugh. But also it's just really warm to play something this silly and basic, but still engaging, whether it be through the gameplay or the environment that you're in, or the music specifically. Like, the music in this game is next level. I said in Recollecting Retro that, like, if you wanted to argue that this is the greatest video game soundtrack of all time, I would not really argue against you. Like, yeah. I think that's a perfectly valid take. It's so good, has so many good earwormy tracks or whatever that get stuck in your head that you can hum along to. And then
real quick, Katamari Damacy, a game that is brought up in our Discord often and is brought up because friend of the channel Serum loves it and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of people don't know what the hell you're talking about from a gameplay perspective. So just give the basic. It's not going to
sound fun to explain it, because you're rolling around this ball and kind of picking up things as you roll over them, and the ball is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, so you can pick up bigger and bigger things. At first, like, the bigger pieces of the environment will, like, block your way, and you have to, like, go around them. And then once you get, like, a big enough mound of trash, you can then start rolling over those pieces, and they get bigger and bigger as you go along. And it becomes sillier and sillier as, like, you're picking up, like, trash at first, and then all of a sudden, like, you're rolling over, like, a cat or something or whatever. It's adorable. It's so funny.
So cute.
So yeah, like, it's hilarious. You have, like, this king that is telling you to, like, go to these different areas and get your I think the ball is called Katamari, if I'm correct.
I think so too. Yeah, get in the comments.
That you need to get that to a certain size, and once you get that to a certain size, then you pass the level or whatever.
Okay.
You're using the two sticks to push forward, go to the side or whatever.
Interesting.
If you want to, like, turn it, you, like, have them both go in the opposite direction or whatever, like, kind of like you're doing like a a rowboat or whatever.
I was about to say like a pivot in a kayak.
Yeah. So the movement is interesting with it's all on the sticks, but it's not challenging particularly. But like you're just kind of rolling around, enjoying the music, laughing your ass off, having a good time, and then you go back and you get your end screen results of like how big you made the ball, and then you go and do it again. There's certain levels that are like, okay, you need to prioritize getting this particular item in the environment. They're all based off of certain star signs, I think, like Cancer
Capricorn,
and or whatever, and Taurus or whatever. Like there was one that made me laugh my ass off. That was like, okay, this one you need to get a bear. Or real quick, previously it was like, okay, you're going around and you're getting eggs that turn into swans, which is related to whatever the star sign was, and you need to get a certain amount of swans or whatever. And like that was like the whole mission objective, and you're getting a bunch of them throughout the environment. And then I do the bear one, and I'm like, it's like you need to get a bear, and it's like, okay, one bear? How long is it going to be hidden in the environment? Is it going to take forever? And it's like, or do I need to like make the ball big enough to be able to roll over the bear? And it's literally right in front of you as you go into the environment. You roll over the bear, the level ends. I was like, there is no shot that is literally the whole level. And it's like, nope. I thought it was going to be like, okay, now get more bears or get a bigger bear or something. And I was like, nope, that's it. And I was laughing my ass off. Like everything about this game is funny, whimsical, charming. It's easy to pick up and play a few levels and go on with your day, feeling more joyful after playing it and than you did beforehand. An easy recommend. It's available on modern consoles. They did like a remaster, remake type deal. You can play it wherever though. Like I think it's perfectly fine on the PS2. I can't imagine it being that much better in HD, if that makes sense. So like play it wherever you can. I love this game.
Real quick, did you beat it or?
Yeah.
I just looked it up 6 hours. This is one that like, if I have a little bit of time before the end this year, I've only heard people that I trust when it comes to the game taste recommend this one. Like it's been a game that like every now and then I want a warm blanket of a video game.
I think some people might find it a little bit too mindless. And I just find it like very relaxing and therapeutic. So like I don't think this is a game for everybody because of that, but I think it's an easy recommend, generally speaking.
All right,
where are we going?
I'm gonna close out the negative hour with Mario Sunshine, and then I'll talk about video games that I'm enjoying. This is obvious, Mario Sunshine. I do not love this video game. I'm at a 3.5 out of 10 with Mario Sunshine. I think that my answer for when people ask what is the worst game you've played and finished, my answer is probably going to be Mario Sunshine.
Ever in your life?
I don't play bad video games. And if I do, I put them down. I said games I've finished.
Yeah, okay.
This was not fun. I want to shout out the chat. Like, holy shit, thank you so much for helping me get through this game that I was not enjoying. Connor is rolling his eyes for the audio.
My eyes cannot roll any harder than they are right now.
I disliked this experience so much. I want to start on the positives though. The reason that I'm not at a 3 or a 2 with this is I think the music is delightful.
The environment's amazing, dude.
I like the summertime vibes.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. But at the end of the day, we're playing a platformer, and the gameplay needs to be fun and have some level of
fairness.
Fairness is a great word for it. I feel like this game's unfair. I feel like I understand. I am not the best gamer of all time, unless we're talking about me versus Connor and Brady. Then yes, I am. I'm the greatest gamer of all time. But just like removing the BS for a moment. Like I understand I'm not like a terrific platformer. I am very competent. I know how to play video games. Like I've played many Mario games. I've played Mario 64, obviously, which is an older title. And this game frustrates me to no end because the amount of times that I had to go and consider and answer questions about, do you prefer the levels with the flood system or the ones without, where like it's just platforming? And I was like, I think I prefer the ones that are just platforming more. And then something like doesn't work on like the next level. And it's, for example, the wall jumping in this game sucks. It sucks donkey ass. Like it's so bad. Like I cannot get, if I am lining up and I'm just like trying my best to like sort of line it up. You would think that it would do a decent enough job of like getting me to go kind of straight, if not a little bit to the right. But the amount of times that I would try to line it up and then it would just like shoot me off to the right for one jump and then shoot me beyond the block that is like the wall that is I'm trying to get off of. Like I needed to wall jump 4 times and I can't even do it for one time, like beyond one time. I was purely frustrated, and that happened a lot in the platforming levels, and I'm just like, this is so tough. The last level in this game before you go and progress to the final level, when it comes to the platforming level, was so unbelievably difficult, and I felt like I had to go and break the game in a way that it didn't want me to have any fun with it, and that isn't good game design. I think that the flood system is fine. It's whatever. I think it would work a lot better if the camera wasn't busted while using it often. If I'm driving, if I'm going in a straight line and I just don't know where I'm at in the environment because the camera is messing up.
Is there free flowing camera for the
you can see stick it and move the camera around, and that's a big issue that I have with this game because
I just didn't have that problem on Switch at all.
I cannot stand the way that this camera goes and functions, especially where the camera sets you in a spot, right? Like obviously, like it's gonna go and push you in a certain way, and as you turn around certain buildings, it's gonna go and swing with you. To have that free flowing camera alongside a set camera, it kind of goes and creates a real layer of friction that is kind of unnecessary. I think the simplicity that you get with Mario 64 is so good because it's a set camera. You just go, right? This allows you the illusion that you have some sensing control when you don't. And it goes and puts you in spots where the amount of times that I had people being like, zoom in, and I would zoom in and it would still be a blocked view of Mario, or zoom out and it would still be a blocked version of Mario. I didn't know where I was going. We're talking about a game where the whole construct of a platformer at its basis is you need to understand where you are in this space and environment, and I feel like this game does a piss poor job of that core mechanic.
Did you feel this way right from the rip, or did it get worse as it went along? And I asked this because I haven't beaten Sunshine. I've played probably close to half of it, and did not have the same experience that you're talking about with the major camera issues or the movement issues. I just found the game incredibly difficult. And I thought that was the reason people didn't like this game as much.
I think the game is inherently a bit difficult, but I also think that the game is inherently a bit broken. And I do think that it progressed as well. Where I started this game and I thought it was fine initially, but as I continued to be frustrated, it built up this anger ball that, like, I want to be very clear. I don't enjoy being negative on this game. I'd much rather be positive and genuinely. We've been streaming for 2 years. It was so fun to reflect with Brady on some of our favorite stream moments because, like, holy shit, like, there was a certain point, I think it was the 3rd stream that we did. I didn't want to stream this game. Like, it was a Patreon promise, and we will always fulfill those promises in every which way we can. Or it was a co-op day promise, right? And like once again, the chat vibes are great. I have good energy. I love being on camera. I love having these conversations about video games and talking through the Battlefield 6 beta and a lot of the other things that were happening around this time and everything. But like, boy, oh boy, like I was really struggling with just wanting to play the game. The game, I love streaming, but the game aspect of it was so difficult where like there was times I was crashing out and it was fun and it was whatever. But like, I'm a very chill gamer when it comes to when I play games personally, even like Elden Ring and stuff like that, Souls games. I don't get I'm going to toss my controller at the fucking screen type energy. I don't believe in that to some level. Like this is all for fun. Games are cool, right? I was having that energy at a certain point. Like I just was frustrated, and that frustration continued to build and build and build. And I think another part of the frustration was people just being like, like it's a great game. And I'm like, we're not... this isn't a bit. Like, I'm not like going in and saying this game sucks and then like jumping off the edge and being like the game sucks. It's like I'm trying so hard to be decent at this game, and it's putting me spots that is just causing frustration.
Yeah, honestly, it just sounds like a skill issue to me.
Yeah, 100%. So Mario Sunshine 3.5 out of 10. I think that the game is terrible on our scale. Like 2 is like basically broken, 1 is broken is what we have it as. 3 is terrible, 4 is bad. I don't think that this game, I not only would not recommend this game, I think that if you have good memories of playing this game and you enjoyed it, don't play it. like enjoy those memories. Like that's probably the best value you can get out of it. I don't recommend replaying it. I think that a lot of people, shout out to the people that came in and was like, I loved this game when I was a kid. I haven't played it in a long time, but my memories of this game is it being good. And I felt like those conversations were so beneficial, being like, I'm so happy that you had those memories, but you're also not coming at me being like, this game's terrific and you're wild for thinking otherwise. Those were very constructive and fun conversations. The rest of the podcast is going to be very, very positive, I promise. But Mario Sunshine was just a sour note in the stream schedule. I'm very excited to talk about Ocarina and then get to Final Fantasy X later this year. Connor, what's your next game?
Let's talk about Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. What a thrill, Nick. I think this game is excellent, great, a fantastic follow-up to MGS2. Obviously, it's a prequel, so we're going back to the start of this timeline, I believe, as far as I understand it. I think that I've needed to fall in love with this game as it went along. I didn't like it as much as 1 or 2 early on, but I think it really does kind of lock in and kind of goes all killer, no filler once you reach about the halfway point.
Yep.
I think that my biggest negative for this game, just to get it out of the way, is I don't think it has a as good of an environment as 1 or 2, as Shadow Moses or the oil tanker, the oil rig. I think those are like very well defined spaces, and this just like is a forest for the most part. It's just not as fun to play around in that environment, in my opinion. I'm not in love with the camo aspect and the eating aspect of this game, but I think that by the end of it, I consider that as just like a net neutral, like something that like is a part of the game. I'm fine with it. Like having to like heal yourself too, like I don't think adds anything to the experience, but I don't think it detracts personally. I think that the stealth gameplay is great. It's, I think, similar to MGS2 in a lot of ways, just a more refined experience than 1, but rock solid when it comes to that gameplay aspect. But when it comes to Metal Gear, I'm there for the villains, and I think that the cast of villains in this game is overall better than 2, and that's really heightened by the inclusion of the boss, and the dynamic between Snake and the boss, I think, is a top tier experience when it comes to those two characters. Dynamic. Yeah. In the franchise, I think that's like Snake and his interactions with like the Rogues Gallery in 1 is like overall probably a bit better. I like that cast of characters more, but I love their dynamic between the boss and Naked Snake quite a bit.
The boss is the second best MGS villain, like in my opinion. It's so good.
And then I think that earlier bosses in this with the bees boss and what it was.
I have no idea what the boss names are, honestly. I know it's the pain, the fear,
and then the fear is the second one, the one that is in the forest that like he's like camouflaging himself and like going invisible.
What was that? MGS3 boss names, because there's obviously the sorrow.
I think those two are weak. I think the end is an excellent boss fight. I think that the sorrow is fantastic. I think the fury is fantastic.
Fury's so good.
The fury is my favorite if you don't count the boss.
Yeah. Colonel Volgan's obviously in there too.
I think like the multi-phase boss fight there, I think is excellent.
Ocelot, the times that you go head to head with them.
Yeah,
I think
fine.
I think that the boss fight, fine. I think Ocelot as a character in this game though is one of my favorite characters in gaming.
Definitely interesting for sure. I'm not where you are seemingly with Ocelot. I don't fully get it yet. Like,
we need to do.
Is it just MGS4 that really locks everything in, or
no? It's MGS3 for me, and I don't want to talk about that on this podcast. Yeah, but like there's stuff there that
even
like,
with all that information that I'm like, still just like, eh.
Oh, dude, I think that you're going to hopefully play through Delta. We'll have some phone conversations. You beat this game at midnight, by the way, and I wasn't able to hop on the phone with you. This game for me is probably like It's up there with Death Stranding and The Last of Us Part 2. And like, that's just one of my favorite games to talk about and run through and ask questions about, because there's so many things to ask questions about, in my opinion.
There's a lot to follow in this game. Like, I got the broad strokes pretty well, but like when it comes to like a lot of the political aspects and interweaving it with like real world stuff, it's
with
like
Cold War,
there's a lot here, and I do think some of it went over my head.
I'm gonna start sprinkling in my Metal Gear Solid Delta impressions in some of this and stuff like that.
Kind of a 1-2.
But like, this game opens up with so much, like, it just over the top narration, go, like immediately. And even my second time now going through this with Delta, like, I was like, holy shit! Like, it was funny. I put the phone away, like, in the other room. Thankfully, no text from Connor, no text from anyone. Like, I was locked in for the hour and some change that I had to play this, and like, I forgot like how much narration and just exposition
you don't play the game until I think that first stream where I was having internet issues, so it was really frustrating to like kind of cut in and out while I'm going through some of these amazing sequences with the Halo jump and everything. I do want to say that, like, when I said that I don't love the first half of this game, first third of this game, I'm not talking about the opening.
The
opening is really cool or whatever, and then the kind of second reintroduction or whatever, I think is also really cool. But like, then once you get into like the actual flow of the gameplay, I'm like, this is kind of weak.
Once you get to Snake being a scientist, I think that is the only down part of this entire game.
I think all the way to that point is slow. Are you saying that?
No, I'm saying that like the second you get through the secondary opening sequence, and then you get through him being a scientist, I'm just trying to keep it as vague as possible. There's a outfit that you get to put on. That is that section, which is about like a 2-hour section, so it's a good chunk of this game. Trust me, like, I'm not discounting it. I have this game as a 9.5 out of 10, and as definitively one of the greatest games of all time. I think that that is like definitely like all right. Like, that's just good. Like, it's fun to be in the Metal Gear world and hear some of these conversations, but the gameplay definitely
I wonder if I'll fall more in love with these opening hours now that I kind of know what I'm getting myself into, having completed the game when I play Delta.
As somebody that has played through the first opening, I would say, of this game, I've made it through the title sequence. I love Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater in a way that I don't love a lot of video games. Like, it is one of the most passion games I have in my arsenal of can just yap for hours about it. Like, I can go and talk about Metal Gear Solid 3 probably top 5, or like most out of any video game that I can, just in general. I love this game. And seeing the Halo jump sequence, I'm going to toss this out there. There's no way I think that Metal Gear Solid Delta ends up living up to what I believe about Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. From a score standpoint, from a remake standpoint, the first thing that it does immensely well is the visuals. Holy shit, going through the sequence and just seeing the reflection on Snake's goggles of the clouds and the overarching sunrise of the Halo sequence is like, I am shitting my pants. It is so good. And I literally started tearing up a little bit, being like, I'm so happy to be back in this environment. I've been waiting so long. I don't get to replay games ever. Like, Uncharted 4 was the first game I've replayed since 2023. And this is an excuse to replay basically one of my all-time favorite games. With that being said, obviously you get through the exposition. The second you started playing this game over the shoulder in the new style and everything, you do start to fly around these environments. And it's not even to just I know where to go now, but like going through that first opening stealth sequence where you need to go and infiltrate an area. I remember that took me like 15 minutes to do. It took me like 3.5 minutes this time around. I just went on the outside and then went under and then went, and all of a sudden I'm just going. And then it's cut to another long ass cutscene. But and the first time it was like, it's nice because like we had this gameplay section. Now it's like we had this gameplay moment, and that's not good enough, and that's not immersive enough to what I love so deeply about Metal Gear Solid. I'm so excited to play more of this. It's going to be unbelievable. This is literally just like one of my favorite things to get to do. Part of this channel maybe out there. I'm excited to talk more and more about Metal Gear 3 with you and dissect these bosses in a new and interesting way, because the gameplay is kind of fundamentally changing with this new one in the way that you're able to sort of more freeform walk around. You can still like scope in and go for that type of action, which I will be doing some of that and everything. But gosh, it's just so good to be back. I love this game so much.
Yeah, circling back to just base MGS3, I think like when it comes to the story, after talking about the bosses, which is a core aspect of the story, but there's also a lot more going on here. I think the story, the twists and turns that it goes on, I think is fascinating, really intriguing, and really, as I said, it gets better as it goes along and really kind of enraptured me. So it was fun to be able to stream that and go on this journey with people and hit those twists and turns and have people like be like, oh my God, or, like it was fun.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that. And then just circling back finally to that dynamic between Snake and the boss, I think that it's super emotionally impactful once you get to the end of this game. And I think it has one of the best boss fights, best moments in video game history. We clipped it out and put it on the Clips channel, but the utilization of music in this game is excellent. I think that Snake Eater is probably the greatest video game track of all time. Like I think that song is excellent. Like people talk about like Simple and Clean like being excellent and I like that song. I think Snake Eater dog walks it. I think it's way better.
The opening sequence, obviously, very Mission Impossible-esque or even Bond-esque. You have Snake Eater play at the start, and so Snake Eater plays the start of Delta. I straight up like one tear, just like one singular tear.
And people talk about the fucking ladder as like a meme or whatever, and like I think that shit's so awesome.
Yeah, it's
like,
so much fun.
That shit rules, and the way that song like kind of is like sprinkled throughout, I think is excellent.
I genuinely think that it's like easily a top 3, top 5 song of all time when it comes to gaming tracks. For me, I think I have Simple and Clean or Dearly Beloved ahead of it from the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack. But other than that, like, holy freaking shit.
So
dude.
I think this game is a little bit better than MGS2. It's my second favorite of the 3. 1, 3, 2, but they're all kind of stacked up there together.
One for you is like definitively ahead of the other two, right? Yeah. For me, it's 3-1 as 9-5s, 2 of the best games ever. Like this is Kojima at the top of his game, and then I have 4 and 2 as 9s. And I think 2 is the 8-5-9 conversation. It just has like arguably the best ending in gaming, so it makes it really hard.
I think the biggest issue with 2 for me is that I really don't care about most of the bosses.
Yeah, that's my big issue. I don't care about the bosses. I don't love the tanker. I don't think that's like top notch. I think that the thing I love the most is Raiden, like, and just his entire character and the journey they go on.
Than Snake.
Yeah, and so
like,
it's
already a step
down.
down.
But once again, I think
I think the situation that he's in is really interesting, but I don't like Raiden the character that much.
I think I like Raiden more than I like Snake.
You do?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I love his dynamic and the Rose storyline and just everything that happens there. I really love Raiden, and I like just the entire conclusion of this Metal Gear story in MGS4. There's just so much to. Metal Gear is probably my favorite game franchise at this point, all time. Like
more than.
It's that or Uncharted.
Yeah, so
like Final Fantasy, it's a weird one, obviously, where it's like there's so many, and I obviously like FF7 remake and just FF7 is probably my favorite video game thing. And The Last of Us is up there, but like as a franchise, like The Last of Us is a hard one. It's 2 games. And same with Portal, 2 games. As a franchise, Metal Gear Solid just stands so freaking tall as like just something that. It's hard. It's a hard guy to beat. Like I love Metal Gear so much, dude. So yeah, I guess what we're back to you with your next one because the Metal Gear Rock Block is over. Once again, you'll get a full Delta review down the line. But
I guess I'll just bang out Uncharted Golden Abyss real fast. I actually started this before Donkey Kong Bonanza came out, so mid-July.
It's been a long time since we tried what we've been playing.
Yeah, and then really,
maybe like June-ish around there. I can
interesting. And then I picked it back up in the last week or so. And it's Uncharted on the go. I think that this is a really solid Uncharted experience. I think it's better than 1. I think it's lacking in those over-the-top set-piece moments that you see in the main franchise 2, 3, 4, and Lost Legacy. I think that it's just really impressive that you get this experience on this really compact handheld that you can only play there too. So I'm playing it to do the platinum. I've played this game multiple times now. I'm playing on Crushing with the collectibles guide in front of me. Really enjoying that experience. I really love platinuming these games. I did most of them in 2016. The only one that I didn't platinum was this one and Lost Legacy.
Oh. I didn't know you platinumed 1.
Yeah. Yep. I platinumed them all in a row, 1, 2, 3, and then Uncharted 4 came out and I platinumed that one.
So sick.
And yeah, I love that kind of going along with the collectibles guide, being challenged by crushing difficulty and like figuring out how to get through some of these combat sequences and doing it again here is kind of nostalgic for me, because I was 2016. I'm like, it's not that long ago, and I'm like, oh fuck,
10 years, buddy. Dude, we're coming up on a 10-year anniversary of Uncharted 4 next year.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So it's nice to return to a crushing difficulty playthrough. So I'm having a lot of fun. It's got that same kind of gameplay loop, and I'm really enjoying that. It has some early PS Vita sensibilities where it's like utilizing the back touchpad and utilizing some. It has like some motion controls, like gyro stuff, and then it also has like a touch screen, like where you can climb utilizing that, or like there's like chalk rubbings or whatever, where like you like kind of rub over like a piece of paper, or you hold the Vita up to like the light or whatever.
I remember some of the stuff, dude. Yeah,
it's ridiculous and intrusive, but like it's not that bad, honestly. It's kind of nice to like.
It's a gimmick, but it's not overtaking the gameplay. Yeah,
it's kind of nice to break things up a little bit. So it has those Vita quirks, but it is the Vita game, in my opinion. Still, it was a launch title, and it's essential for anybody who is picking up that console. And I think that it's a good reason to still pick up the Vita if you are a fan of Uncharted and are kind of itching to get to another Uncharted experience that you haven't played yet, because I think most people haven't played this. That's a good reason to pick up this console on its own. And I think it's an easy recommend. If you have a Vita, you have to have Uncharted Golden Abyss, period.
I want to play this game eventually. I just don't have the time right now. I think that this is going to be one of those. Sometime next year, I'll probably take a Vita from you. You have to, right?
Yep.
Take a Vita from you and play through this one, because I just want to go and beat out the final Uncharted game that I've not finished. Am I going to move on?
Yeah. Real quick, from a story standpoint, it's whatever. Like, it's fine. Like, there's two kind of buddy characters that you have that you're going on this journey with, or one of them is more of like an antagonist, one of them like is kind of your partner in crime here. And like, as somebody who has played this game multiple times before this, 2 or 3 times before this, like, I could not have told you the names of these characters.
Oh, no.
And then like now coming back to it, I'm like, oh yeah, these people.
Yeah. All right. Man, I just have 2 great games I can talk about. We're going to talk about Hollow Knight first. I'm 10 hours into Hollow Knight. A game that Connor hates. I'm kidding. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. I think this game is great. I would say literally that I love this game.
Yeah. I think this might be my second favorite indie game of all time.
You're 10 hours in.
10 hours in. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. Yeah, I'm saying that it's pacing to be that. I like Souls games. And this is just a 2D Souls game. I'm getting my ass handed to by these bosses. I'm not as good at this game as Connor was, apparently. Connor flew through this game. This is the first Metroidvania that I'm really allowing myself to get lost in, and be okay with not having good direction. In one of the sections, took me 2 hours to find the map. Like, I just couldn't find the map, but I was okay with it. And I've never done that in a Metroidvania experience. I love the atmosphere in this game. I think that this atmosphere is, right up there with Bloodborne and BioShock 1 and 3. It's one of the best atmospheres in gaming. I think the art style is so unbelievably distinct. This is not news to anyone that has ever seen it. It is comforting and like a warm blankety type of vibe. Going and jumping and then like hearing your feet like touch like little puddles of water because there's like rain that is dripping down from the soil above you is so atmospheric, and the slight details that make me really love what I've played thus far. I want to be very clear that like, yeah, this game could totally fall off and I might not love it down the line, but as of right now, I am just so unbelievably impressed. I think the boss fights in this game are so much fun. I don't know if I've had this much fun in a 2D boss fight game thus far. And that includes, like, I think Super Metroid's boss fights are so good. Like, it's so well designed. It's Super Metroid, for goodness sake. But, like, holy shit. Like I love the amount I'm being challenged. I love how fair the fights feel. I love the different designs and the different patterns that is tossing my way, and learning and getting better, and just trying to go and do the full Souls gameplay cycle, but in a 2D format with this art style, and how good and memorable the bosses are. I feel like in games with boss fights, I don't remember the names unless they're like awesome. I know all the names thus far of these bosses, and if I don't know the names well enough, it's like I can tell you very distinctly, like this is what exactly was happening, and this is the pattern, and it's like so cool and interesting. I think that this game's just freaking awesome. Like I said, 10 hours in, I've had to put it down over the past couple of days just due to being busy with some of the work stuff and some social stuff. But like, I am itching to pick it back up. Like, I'm gonna watch college football for a few hours and get this podcast up and get the other pod up and do some other work stuff. But like, I think I might bring my Switch 2 over because I'm just hanging out with some people watching football, and maybe I can get some games in the meantime. I love this. Like,
Did you get the pogo down yet?
I'm working on it. The answer is yeah. Like that's
an essential tool that you need to master for sure.
For sure. And it's been awesome. Like I just really love this video game, and I am so thankful that I am blessed with this game after Mario Sunshine. And I know that sounds silly. I know that sounds so dumb.
So bitter, dude.
But like I genuinely like I had a hard time remembering like because we're coming off of Donkey Kong Bonanza and Death Stranding too. But like it takes so much for me to want to play an old game, just any older title that's not new and fresh, and like the conversation's happening right now, and like going back to this right before Silksong, I was really like, I don't even know if I can beat a 40-hour game in 9 days or whatever, since like really getting into it, and like do this unless it's awesome. And like I'm so thankful it's awesome. Like I was having the conversation with our mother recently about like this review schedule and everything, and I was like, yeah, like if I don't like love this like Hollow Knight game, I might just like pop off and not play Silksong and let you play Silksong and play some other games to reviews and I'm like, no, like I Silksong is probably my most anticipated game right now, maybe even ahead of Yote. Like I am like so excited to just get more and more of this. I'm like, if I didn't, my goal is, it's very similar to Death Stranding, where it's like I'm just gonna be rolling credits on this one. I'm not gonna be doing super bosses 112% in this game or anything. I'm gonna go and just get through the story at my pace. I could see myself come Tuesday night, Wednesday, being like, okay, like we gotta have the guide up a little bit more, get to where I need to go. But getting lost in this world, in this environment, I'm just so deeply in love with, fascinated by. I want more of this world. I want more of these boss fights. I lost 2,000 souls and I wasn't pissed about it. Like I was pissed in the moment, being like, gosh darn it, like that stinks to lose 2,000 of this currency. I know it's not souls, but I forget what it is as of right now. But like, I was like, oh, cool. Like, I just get to explore more and collect more stuff and fight off these little cute, the guys that are around the environment. Like, I just love this game. I don't know if I've been this smitten with an indie game in a long time. It reminds me of the comfort that I feel when I'm playing Undertale. And I haven't had that feeling in video games, not only in a long time, but like there's only a handful of games that make me feel the way that Undertale makes me feel. And that is cozy and thinking about things in a different way, and I just love this game. So 10 hours in, if we hit a certain we're getting close on this Patreon goal, we'll do a spoiler cast for Hollow Knight. But I love it, and I can't wait to talk more about it after I beat it. So Connor, you got 2 games left, I got 1. Where are we going?
Yeah, I'm going to go with my one semi-negative game here. We're going to talk about Sword of the Sea, this new indie game from Giant Squid.
Bingo.
Makers of The Pathless and Abzu, made up of some developers who made Journey. If you don't know, I think Journey is one of the greatest games of all time, one of the best indie games of all time. Just a totally magical experience, unlike anything I'd ever played when it first came out, and I still think there's aspects of that game that are super unique still. So coming to this game, I saw a lot of the sensibilities of Journey on display from the trailers. Obviously, you add in a sword skateboard, sword snowboard type situation. I think that's an interesting twist on that formula. And when I it's about 3 hours long. I played it in one sitting. When I finished it, I said, probably between a 7 and an 8, but give me a few days. Let's see how this kind of like sits with me. It's been a few days. I would probably lean closer to a 7 or a 6, somewhere in that ballpark. It just doesn't really stick with me very much. Like, I'm thinking of the different moments of this game, and like it all kind of just blends together and feels like something that I had already done before in many ways. And I don't really know what Giant Squid is supposed to do, if this is like what they make. You know what I mean? Like, how creative and weird can you get with this while still being in that same formula? Like, I don't know. Like, they tried to do something different with the pathless, which adds in like, I guess, like combat, like you're like sliding around, you have a bow and arrow, as I understand it. And nobody talks about that game. But here, like, there's certain moments, especially early on, when you're in like the desert environment, where I was like, this is literally just Journey. Like, it looks exactly like it. The sun shimmering on the sand as you're like gliding over it. Like, I'm like, I literally did this exact thing in 2012. It's like, what is the point of this? Like, why does this exist? Like, if it's not going to be any different. And I do think that there's a nice diversity of environments as you go along that kind of changes up the formula enough. But I just was not very compelled from a gameplay standpoint of just kind of gliding around this environment. It feels fine enough. There's things that change up the formula a little bit when it comes to movement. I don't think in a positive fashion, though. If you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about, where you're not on the sword. And I think those are a little bit of a step down. I always was like, I would rather just have like my full range of motion that I had when I was on the sword. I think this game is gorgeous. I think that the music is excellent, but it once again just feels very familiar, and it's hard for me to be like that's like a shining, super positive thing when I feel like it's done better in Journey. Like, I think the music and the visuals are better in Journey than they are in Sword of the Sea. So even though they're really great here, it's hard because it already has that comparison point. It's in an uphill battle. Like, how do you exceed that? Like, you're really kind of setting yourself back or setting yourself up for failure when you're having to compete with yourself in that way with Journey. So I think that if you've never played Journey and you want to play Sword of the Sea, you'll probably have a much better experience than I had. And you're not obsessed with Journey by any means.
I thought Journey was a great game, like an 8 out of 10, yeah.
Yeah, so like maybe you would enjoy it a little bit more because of that. But as somebody who holds Journey in such high regard, like, it's hard to like go and play this and not feel like it's a really solid step down. And in some ways it's not fair because like it's competing with itself. And like if it was... It's just taking this game in a vacuum. I think you can look at it very differently, but like since you have that comparison point, it's hard not to make that comparison.
I will say 88 on Metacritic, game's reviewing well.
So does he has an 88 on Metacritic?
Yeah, which 21 reviews. So not like we're not talking about a game with 97 reviews at an 88 or something like that. But like people are enjoying it. I'm curious to see. I haven't read anything on this game like at all. It was really funny when you told me you beat this game on a random Tuesday or something, where I was like, oh shoot, like nice. But it is a little bit disheartening that you didn't love it because this is one that like you can beat in a night and maybe I would get to, but like I just am too excited about playing other stuff. I do think it's a decently
easy recommend. Like I could see
how much was it?
It was on PlayStation Plus.
Oh, nice. Let me also just pull
Premium.
It up. How much is Sword?
It's $25.
That probably checks out. If it's a fun $30 on Steam,
not worth $30 in my opinion.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, and it's got a.
I think that if it was a really amazing experience that was 3 hours long, I would feel more comfortable with that price. But for me, for the experience that you're getting,
I mean, you're at a 7-ish on this. You know, that makes sense.
If you have PlayStation Plus though,
go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah. You ready for my final game? Little indie title. No one's really heard of it. Ocarina of Time, Zelda. Me talking about Zelda games on this podcast. The highs and lows of discussing this franchise. Tears of the Kingdom, one of the best games I've ever played. One of my favorite gaming experiences I've ever had. Then I went on to Twilight Princess. Didn't love it. My expectations were not met in the way that a lot of people talk about Twilight Princess. We're talking about a game that a lot of people got tattoos on their bodies and hold it in such a high regard, and it's my favorite Zelda, and why can't we get more Zeldas like Twilight Princess? And that was kind of disappointing to be at like a 8 out of 10, you know. Moving on to Wind Waker, I enjoyed it. I thought it started a little bit slow, but like that art style really captured me. The vibes of just sailing the seas and this art style and the music, and it just like going on this adventure that kind of felt a little bit basic too, because it's such a cutesy art design. Going through some of these temple designs and layouts, I really think is so well refined in this game and really terrific. I'm at like a 9 out of 10. I love this game. So entering Ocarina of Time, going a step back towards the N64, I was so nervous. This is a game that people love in a way that very few games are held to this standard. It is truly when people, I think if I chat GPT top 10 games, we probably would see Breath of the Wild or Ocarina. It is a guaranteed shoe-in for one of the highest regarded games ever.
Highest rated game on Metacritic, right?
Yeah, I think so. I can double check it. But Ocarina of Time meta, it's going to be at a 99 or a 98.
It's a 99, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time is at 99, is the highest rated game on Metacritic. Mm-hmm. I can put your fear aside and say that I really do enjoy this game. I think that this game opens way stronger than Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. You get straight into the action. You have like 20 minutes of tutorials type stuff, and then all of a sudden you're in a temple and you're going. And I think that first temple design is immaculate, like from a level design perspective, in the way that you go and figure out things. I think
people do not put Deku Tree like that high up in their temple rankings.
Oh, I understand, which that excites me so much, because I really do think that it's basic level design, like really immensely basic, but it's basic in the way that Metroid Prime is basic level design. It makes sense. It works. Mm-hmm. It doesn't overly confuse the player for no reason, but it also doesn't hold your hand in a way that is just like, I don't feel like I just solved something. When you hear that chime of moving on to the next room, it feels great. When you go and figure out how to go and attack a certain enemy, which I feel like enemies in Zelda games are also kind of mini puzzles, it feels like I'm being a little bit smart. Mm-hmm. And getting those small hits remind me a lot of what I love so much about Tears of the Kingdom, which is the shrine process of, hey, you're just solving mini puzzles. These rooms in these temples feel more like shrines than they do feel a little bit more convoluted for no effing reason in Twilight Princess time and time again. And that's why I really fell out of love with that game.
The complexity does go up as the game goes along.
For sure.
You're going to get to the Water Temple and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Has chat been help? I mean, chat doesn't need to help you for these early ones, but I imagine that they will eventually.
Shout out to the chat. They're amazing. On the second stream, I didn't put this as a pin chat. I will for every one after the fact. There's a little bit of backseating without me asking sort of deal. Mm-hmm. At times on the first chat, I literally was like, no backseating unless I ask. And I'm going to do that for everyone after, because I think that it makes the experience more special for me to figure out these puzzles
I'm
naturally.
asking people to backseat for me in games like Silent Hill. I can't get them to do it.
I love, like, this is obviously a game that so many people know like the back of their hand. So I really have enjoyed playing this. I think that this game is magical. Like, I think that there is
that's the word I would use too.
So much to this that immediately I'm captured by, and I'm so excited to stream every single Tuesday and Thursday right now. Like, I think that right now I can kind of confidently say this. I think this is the best stream slate Co-op 64 has ever had, with the games that we're playing and the way that they're all different and unique, but also hella entertaining, between you sitting in the dark, me playing an all-time classic, and Brady wanting to toss a controller out the fucking window. I think that we're like across the board having a great time. Lies of P is also just rad. Mm-hmm. I am so excited and in love, and I'm 6 hours in. I want to start. I probably should have said that earlier. We got a long way to go. We got at least 4 more weeks of streaming this bad boy. But I'm excited for the next month of streaming in a way that I have. It reminds me of streaming Metal Gear. like that's where I'm at. Where it's like, oh, I'm starting to understand something that like there's a reason that people really love these games, and sometimes that reason falls short in a way that sucks because I want to love some of these retro games, and I don't expect my experience of Zelda that will be that it's a masterpiece but I expect this to potentially be up there with like Tears of the Kingdom or even Wind Waker, compared to my experience with Twilight Princess. Oh, once again, all great games. Like I just have nitpicks and some annoyances on some of these titles, but like I really do love what I've played of Ocarina of Time thus far. Connor, close this out. Final game.
We're hopping into Silent Hill here. Only played about 3 hours of it on stream. I've only played Silent Hill 2 Remake as my, well, I played PT, if that counts, Silent Hills.
There you go.
And Silent Hill 2 fucked me up. I think that game is terrifying. And I would like to play the original version of Silent Hill 2. I own Silent Hill 3, which I'm more interested in playing than Silent Hill 1. But apparently Silent Hill 1 is connected to 3. So you have to play in that order. And I might do 1, 2, and 3 on stream. That's the current plan, but things can change. So we'll see how it all goes. Like I said, 3 hours in. I love the look of this game. I love the look of PS1 games with fixed camera angles. I think this is the first game I've played that has tank controls. Totally fine. I do not understand why people hate tank controls. I think they take like a little bit to get used to, and once it clicks, you're like, okay, this is just how this works now.
Yeah.
So from a gameplay standpoint, picking up different items, your ammo. I've gotten a couple guns at this point, health items. It's your classic survival horror stuff. Shooting feels fine. Hold R2, press X to shoot. Same deal with the metal pipe that you might know from Silent Hill 2 of swinging that on enemies. All looks solid in my opinion. Has that atmosphere still, even though it's a PS1 game. Gameplay holds up decently. When it comes to the frights, it's hitting for sure. I think when this can also be said about Silent Hill 2 Remake, that when you're walking around Silent Hill, like the town, you're just in the fog, like it's scary, but it's not like fucking me up. It's when you get into the indoor environments and it's like, oh no. Like
I was scared the entire time. I just want to say that.
Yeah, I was like, I do not like this. So like you go to a school and you're in this school and you're doing the survival horror stuff. You're going into all the rooms, seeing like, oh, is this one unlocked? It's locked or whatever. Maybe I can find my way around into a different one. You have the map, and you're like crossing off certain things or whatever. So you're trying to like map out. You're like, okay, maybe I can go through this door and then go around this way to get into this door that I need to get into. Doing little puzzles along the way. Really enjoying that kind of process so far. Also, classic survival horror. Played Silent Hill 2 Remake, same deal there or whatever. And what I did not know was a staple of the franchise is the nightmare sections. Once again, circling this back to Silent Hill 2 as my only touchstone or whatever, like you'll be in an environment and then you'll cross over this threshold of some kind and it'll become twisted. And by twisted, I mean rusted. And once it turns into this rusty, fucked up environment, I'm like, fuck, I hate this so much. It enhances the scares so drastically. It's like just really fucked up and gross, and like I don't like being here anymore. And you start to feel comfortable in that initial area, and then all of a sudden it's completely different, but still the same. And I think that twist is really intriguing and really frightening. So that's where I've left off in this playthrough on streaming it. And I was shitting my pants. I turned the lights off or whatever because people encouraged me to do it. And like my heart was beating in my chest. Like I could feel it in my head. I was not wanting to go back through certain areas because like I was like, I know that there's enemies in there and I got to just get past them. I died a few times, was sent back to my save. So like losing that progress can be a little bit frustrating, but like overall, just like the experience so far, where it's going from a story perspective, when it comes to the atmosphere, when it comes to the gameplay, I'm loving all of it. The music, once again, excellent. Like everything about this game is fantastic. So Is it like a step down from my experience with Silent Hill 2? Sure, at least so far.
Yeah, you gave it 9.5 out of 10, and you love so
and
much.
We're talking about a remake too. I'm very intrigued to see where I fall when I play Silent Hill 2 original,
which a lot of people hold as greatest horror game of all time.
Yeah, and I could see a lot of why that is from the remake. Now having gone back to the original version of the game, or the original entry with Silent Hill 1, I really appreciate this being like a good starting point for the franchise, and seeing where it ends up in modern days. I'm like, damn, like this is just like super impressive that they were able to translate a lot of this into the modern era and see how they built on that. So I'm really enjoying this one. It's very expensive to play on original hardware. I think this game is like $250 now. It's shot up in price. It's shot up in price because of the remake. So I can't like easily recommend it to play it that way, but it's accessible on PS3 and PlayStation Vita. If you got that as a PS1 classic, so there you can play it there. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, and I imagine that will hold throughout this playthrough. I think a fourth of the way through.
Nice.
It's a 7-hour-long game if you look it up on how long to beat, but I was following a walkthrough, and I'm about a fourth of the way through the walkthrough.
That makes sense. These horror games where you can get twisted and turned and go the wrong way, I feel like I always
and I
overshoot.
Lost progress too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
If you're not dying at all, then I imagine it's
a bit faster.
Easier, yeah.
All right, that's been what we've been playing. We got a draft to close this one out. We're going to be drafting video game sequels that we want, right?
Yeah, you want to tee it up?
Yeah, do I get first pick?
Most wanted video game
sequels.
Yeah,
most wanted video game sequels.
Sure.
Today, we're drafting most wanted video game sequels, and I'm going to start out with one of the most obvious most wanted video game sequels. Can Valve count to 3? I'm choosing Portal 3 with my number one pick. Obviously, I don't know if there's any game that can even come close to rivaling what a Portal 3 could even look like. We're talking about basically 2 perfect video games, and getting a sequel to those games would be unbelievable anytime soon. But also part of me wants them to just leave it and have this be the most magical and mythical franchise maybe ever. Connor, what's your first pick?
Worth noting that we cannot draft anything that is already announced. So like no Kingdom Hearts 4 in this draft. What else did I want to say there?
I would know Rebirth, obviously, like the remake. Yeah,
I don't think we're gonna draft Half-Life.
Yeah,
because like I know that's gonna frustrate a lot of people, but like you and I don't have the same affinity.
You've played it, don't love it. I've not played it.
So like it's gonna be a very notable exclusion here. I'm sorry in advance. With my first pick, I'm gonna do Bloodborne 2. I would really like to return to Yharnam at some point and have From Software revisit this world. So that's my first pick. With my second pick, if you asked me right after this series finished up, if I wanted a sequel, I would have said no, but I think it's been long enough, and I think they can do a different direction here with Uncharted 5 to make it worth our time and still respect where the franchise has gone and respect Nathan Drake's legacy. So I would like another Uncharted entry, please.
You kind of took one of my picks. It's my number 2 pick, but I'm not going to say it. I'll save it for honorable mentions, but I think it's different enough that you would allow it, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. With my next pick, I'm going to choose Metal Gear Solid 6. You could also just say finishing Metal Gear Solid 5 properly, but just getting another game in the Metal Gear Solid franchise, the fact that they've been able to go and add so much to this just brilliant franchise, it's my favorite franchise ever, so I would love more Metal Gear if I can have it.
I do not want that to happen.
And I'm going to go back to back with Kojima games. I'm going to go with Death Stranding 3. We're coming off of Death Stranding 2, and the idea of what a Death Stranding 3 could be in the future sounds so enticing to me. I would love another Death Stranding video game. I just love the aspect of it is peaceful. We are going to walk to places and getting just better action and more exciting sequences in this world. Sign me the hell up. Death Stranding 3 would be my next pick.
If you got another Metal Gear, is this like a magical perfect world where Kojima's making it, or is Konami making it?
Connor, I'm living in my magical world, of course, because we're gonna get that with Fizzin, most likely, basically.
Yeah.
I just once again, we're never getting a Portal 3, Connor. Okay,
I think that is definitely possible.
I think that it is possible that Kojima goes and kicks it with Konami one last time.
No.
Okay, there's anything can happen. We live in a magical world. No, but I would say that yes, this is magical world stuff with Metal Gear. I would want Kojima to be part of it, obviously.
With my third pick, I'm going to go with Titanfall 3. I would love another entry in this franchise. Give me more sweet movement multiplayer with mechs. Give me another campaign. Make it happen. Please, Respawn. We need another Titanfall. With my fourth pick, I'm going to go with Dead Space 4. I think that Dead Space 1 is survival horror perfection. Dead Space 2 makes it a little bit more action-y, and I think is another solid entry in the franchise. Dead Space 3 adds the co-op, goes a little bit too far in the action department. I would like them to get another crack at Dead Space and right the ship here and give me another entry. It's been long enough.
I hate to say it. I think this is one of those where I think Connor's got me. I think that he's won this draft. So I can go a little bit more personal with my last two picks. I'm still going to try to win the draft, but you know how it is right now. I'm not going to choose Nintendogs, even though it's on my board. With my next pick, I'm going to choose Castlevania. The idea of a Souls-like Castlevania game goes and keeps me up at night. That sounds freaking awesome. Bring it back. Let this franchise go and play with some of the tool set that you already have in some of these classics and bring it into the modern era. Let's get another Castlevania game out there. And then my last pick is going to just be totally a personal pick. I want Rock Band 5. Give me Rock Band 5. The fact that Rock Band 4 went and had 2 songs released basically every week for years and years and years after that released, and they finally stopped last year, is a little bit sad to me, obviously, as somebody that has purchased so many tracks in that game. But the idea of getting another set list, getting the band back together and having some fun on some Friday nights sounds freaking awesome. So Rock Band 5 is my next pick and my final pick.
I'll go with a personal pick as well here. I'm going to go with PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2. Give it another go. Shut the haters up who said PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 1 was bad and make it excellent or whatever. Get the cast that it deserves. You have so many more PlayStation characters now to add in, and I want to see it happen, please. Or just remake PlayStation All-Stars. I want it accessible on modern consoles, please.
Honorable mention number 1, and I didn't want to derail the draft by picking this and having this conversation. But my number 2 on my board is Uncharted Lost Legacy 2. I don't want an Uncharted 5. I want a sequel to the Lost Legacy franchise.
Okay, you know what I meant though. But it could be that.
Yeah, exactly. For me, that's why I felt like I was stepping on toes if I picked that. Because I think that the discussion is just another Uncharted game, and that's sort of what you were drafting there.
Yeah.
But the idea of another Lost Legacy and more Chloe in particular is sign me up. I think Chloe's my third favorite Uncharted character, and their journey that they go on in Lost Legacy 1 is so underrated and not talked about enough. Just to go and rattle off the rest of my list, Nintendogs, Sly Cooper, Banjo-Kazooie, just to make me play a Banjo game. That would be cool. KOTOR, SSX, and F-Zero.
Oh, damn, you have a lot of them.
Well, I had a board of 12, but then, we
went with my, probably not going to happen picks for this, and then I have a few that are most likely going to happen, but I would like them sooner than later, if that makes sense. Like Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Persona 6 is going to happen, of course, and I'm excited for that. One that I don't think will happen ever, but I would like to see, and honestly, it's kind of a double-edged sword where it's Mario Odyssey 2 or Galaxy 3. I would like to see happen, but I also would rather them just keep doing crazy, wacky things and make new, interesting Mario franchises. So I still kind of would prefer that anyways, even though I would like to see both of those. So those are my honorable mentions.
Nice. Thank you to everyone that supports the show over on patreon.com/coop64. You truly keep these lights and mics on. We could not do this show without you. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts so much. Connor and I, just to close out August, this is the last show we're shooting in August. We will go and update the members, obviously, for the new month and everything. But August has just been an amazing month over there. And we are very, very appreciative for the support over on Patreon. And we're very close to that Hollow Knight goal. That's all I'm saying for that spoiler cast at 375 paid members. All right. Thank you to amazing members that support this show at the highest tier. You truly mean the world to us. Amazing members like Trace Hurd,
Crumbly L,
Sir Shellis,
Lumus,
Ugracie,
Chuzar,
MG Dunbar,
Mr. Munchies,
Farmer Spud,
Rocket Tater,
Nofi,
Swampy Bits,
Jaxie T,
Tristan C,
Sconesy C,
Strachan 1978,
Dingleberg Rules,
Tenshuru,
Hook'em Horns, Horns Down,
Go Nash,
Das Scoopy,
Neutral Sphere,
Easton C,
Stubby Doobie,
We Nuke This Kingdom,
Crispy,
DJ Zachby,
Uli,
Jacob D,
Big Mac,
Metal Nate,
The Patty Cake,
Bear Pog,
Cowboy Jesus,
Yogi,
Damn,
Hole in Them,
Colin C,
Brack,
Voodoo,
Milky Sins,
Dr. Pookie Bear,
Alex the Golden,
Andrew H,
Master Diz,
Bad Fellow,
Only One Rufus,
Drifter X1 Skirt Skirt,
JMappy3,
Goops,
Ali Benali,
and Kingdom Hearts Sucks. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Casual Gaming Conversation. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.